By the way, today is a special day in Jewish tradition and Jewish holy days. Some of you may be able to tell me what that is. Does anybody know what day today is? Rosh Hashanah or? Huh? It is the Feast of Trumpets, okay? So in the religious calendar of the Jewish holidays, you have Passover and you have Feast of Unleavened Bread, you have the Pentecost, and then on the fall feast you have Rosh Hashanah, which is the Feast of Trumpets, which is where, you know what, I'm going to have somebody come up and share just a brief what it's all about. Bruce, are you here? And he's got something special just to kind of lead us into this. So I think it's kind of neat. There's, all of the feast days that the Jewish people kept, and they're still keeping today, have meaning in the whole plan of salvation. And this next year, I'm going to do a series on it so that we can kind of understand what that's all about. Bruce, tell us what it's all about.
Shabbat Shalom. So today is, as the pastor mentioned, Yom Teruah, usually known as shouting, or what Teruah means is shouting, but it also is associated with blowing a trumpet or a shofar. So I don't have much time, but I will tell you a couple things about the holiday. It's a very significant day. This is the day that Israel will be gathered. This is the coronation day of the King of Kings, Yeshua. This is also a resurrection day. This is a day for judgment. This is a day to blow the shofar. And this is the day that the world was created. So, you may remember a good example in the Old Testament about Jericho and Joshua and his army taking over that city. They walked around the city for a whole week. But the last day, they walked around it 7 times, and the priests blew their shofars, and everybody gave a mighty shout. The walls came tumbling down. So there's several ways to blow this thing. I'm not up to practice to do all of them, but I will do possibly the most important one, which is known as the last trump. This is the sound that you'll hear on Resurrection Day, so you might want to pay attention. And then when I finish blowing, I want everyone to shout hallelujah with me, okay?
Hallelujah! Amen.
And just one more note. There's 2 more high holy days coming up. Next one is a Day of Atonement, and then after that will be the Feast of Sukkot. My wife and I are hosting a Sukkot gathering at our home. Talk to her after the service. She'll give you all the details. We have this little flyer. We have a limited number with us today. Some people can get them. I think put one on the bulletin board too. And if we run out, we can get one to you somehow. So thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that. Isn't that interesting? There's a rich culture in the Jewish community that God set up a whole calendar year. And one of the things is the Feast of Trumpets, which we are in today, is an announcement in the antitypical, which I mean antitypical day, is that it represents that as we live and get closer to Jesus coming, it's an announcement that Jesus is coming soon. And so that's one of the things that we can, and leads up to what we call Yom Kippur, or the Day of Judgment, or the Day of Atonement, which is an important time in Adventist history as well. And also that after that, The Sukkot, the Feast of Sukkot, is what we call the Feast of Tabernacle, which is actually when the Jewish people arrived in the Promised Land. And we, as God's people, one day will be in the Promised Land. So we want to remember that as well. So we appreciate it.